Alright, go on then. Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. His name's Jun Area. I'd hardly call myself elite, but either way, it's nice to meet you. And this here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Tsutsumi. And yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So you two are detectives? This is my client, Mrs. Haruya Shigima. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. A big wig named Shigima? Boss, you know of this guy? Shit, I've heard the name, but you know I don't keep track of who's in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry. I am my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looked like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business. It ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all your criminals with a smile. That's our motto. How lovely. Keep it up. Just hold on 1 second. This is the first I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. Okay. I thought we might cause trouble standing in the middle of the street talking like this, but so far, we haven't drawn attention. Then again, that might just be because nobody wants to get involved with the case. I guess knowing how to deal with cops is also part of an investigator's job. Not quite. The two of us used to be comrades, is all. Comrades? That's right. Richter used to be part of the police force himself. He quit a few years ago to go solo. Is that so? You should give it a try, Ariel. There's more freedom in working as a private investigator. I can't say much for the quality of life, though. It's been 2 years, right? I hadn't heard of you since you quit. I didn't think your business would last, but here you are. You sure that you don't want to return to the force? We'd take you back with open arms. What? To sit on my ass and watch the birds fly? I'll take a pass. I don't belong in that world. Come on, Richter. We need your talent. The public needs you. No, you don't. This is my calling. The police will manage just fine without me. I'll keep on tying up all your loose ends, saving the little birdies you abandoned. I can't believe you were actually part of the police force once. There's a story behind everything, ma'am. I don't regret my time on the force. I wouldn't have the connections I have today without it. It seems they were acquainted, but also like they haven't talked in a long time. A young and energetic detective, he seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had the chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer like him. What brings you here, Richter? You're in a case? That's right. I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year. Oh, I remember now. You're that Haruya Shigima from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Munasada Shigima's grandson was kidnapped. Which must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed, the story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret. And unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing at all, which is why I'm now on the job. So they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So your findings have brought you to this place then? That's right. An individual connected to the case used to live around here. Used to? That's right. As of last week, they're deceased. We'd hoped to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so we figured we'd try again. It sure doesn't look good on the police to be mishandling cases like these. If there really was a culprit, it should be our responsibility to bring them to justice. Well, I do consider the police my people. So, you consider the blame to be shared. You've got a stern side as well, I see. It sure doesn't... Oh, okay. It seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are bureaucratic desk jockey types. The contrast is rather striking. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. And that is? You happen to know anything about the 7 mysteries of Honjo? Oops. Oh. Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly... With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady. If you insist. What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? I've heard of the 7 mysteries, but this talk of curses eludes me. No one mentioned curses. Is that so? Well, I'm sorry for the intrusion. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator. Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. And as it turns out, I was out here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary? Out of the ordinary? I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Richter's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know. I can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you got to say. Something is happening in Honjo, isn't there? It must be something big if they've got you head office guys on it. Well, I guess it's alright. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Richter. Huh. So by using curses to commit murders, these people collect soul dregs to perform the rite of resurrection? And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Honjo? It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. We figured the strange occurrences happening around here recently are connected to these curses. To get the situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might help us? It's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into this at all. But if we're talking shady characters, there was this middle-aged fellow I saw on South Farigesu Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Araishi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it would be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if I find anything. Richter, perhaps you could lend a hand in our case too? There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, no? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. I see. Well, can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at the job. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing with here. Huh? By the way, that reminds me, Richter. Yes? You said the person who used to live here died last week. You wouldn't be referring to Michio Shiraishi by chance? You knew? I thought so. It seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio was involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Oh, right, Hajime Yoshimi's. That's right, he died on the job. I'm sure you've heard of it. I heard. It was a most unfortunate loss. So there's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division and Michio. Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she had something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn I want the full scoop on your findings concerning Michio. Sure, to tell you the truth. What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Jonochi? So he wasn't just mumbling nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet. But the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we've found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's all true then... Did you figure something out? Kankichiro Iwai. Huh? Kankichiro Iwai. He'll be the next victim. We have to open the door to the Shiraishi's house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss? I'm sure the landlord would give us a key if we asked. Screw that. You know how long that could take? We can ask for permission later. Richter? Hey, Richter, calm down. We can't just... Well, he can. Take that, you shitty door. That's how you do it. Richter, get a hold of yourself. I see you're still the same as always. Everyone, come quick. Look at this. Well, he's not the next victim. He's the last victim. Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here. Whoa, could that be Michio's dad? Nah, he's her stepdad at best, if that. It's got to be the body of Kankichiro Iwai. There's no doubt about it. This man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Ario, did you find Jonochi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohei Jonochi had died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shiraishi. She's alive. She used the power of the curse to get back at the men who ruined her life. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's got to be that. And if she's alive, then... My apologies for interrupting. I know, we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michio Shiraishi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so, I would have you answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shiraishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? Wait. 8 o'clock. Give me the story chart. No. Can I then... I don't really have it. I just want to see the timeline. I don't want to go back to... Well, whatever. Okay. At 8 o'clock this morning. I don't remember the full outline. What really happened? I don't think anything happened. In particular, after the night. Sumino River, Komagato Bridge, the high school, or house, Orange Bridge, Kinshibori Park. Okay, let's do exclusions. What doesn't really make sense? I mean, the Shigima residence doesn't really make sense in my opinion. Kinshibori Park. Wait, which one is Kinshibori Park again? Midoricho Park. There's so many parks. Is Kinshibori Park the park from the beginning of the game? Or is that Midoricho Park? I don't think there was anything in former Yasuda Gardens around this time. Neither do I think Ryogoku Bridge. South Warigesui Street. Honjo Bridge. Her own house. Well, it's said that he's been dead for a while. Like last night sometime, but not 8 o'clock this morning. And I don't see why she would hang around. So I exclude this as well. At the high school? It's a possibility. Komagata Bridge, Sumino River. Honestly, like the things I'm considering most are these two. She's been friends with person whose name I've forgotten. Wait. What was her name? Yako. She was friends with her. But actually, let me read some more into her. She was found 1 week ago, deceased, in a back alley off South Warigesui Street. A long-lasting friendship. I think this is all, like, these three. This maybe because it's the place where she was found dead. This because of the connection with Yako. This because of the school thing. Because it's possibly a place to sort of reside. Surely you can hide in the school for a while. Although, you know, here is one of these. What am I going with? I mean, I'm gonna get it wrong anyway. You wouldn't just be in a park the whole time. I'm gonna go with the school. I see. So, that's what you think. Let's take a moment to reconsider what you know and choose again, shall we? Okay. So you're saying I was wrong. There. Is it gonna let me do until I get... Can I get it before the last one? Okay. Okay, so it's not... How about this then? I see, very well. Congratulations, you are correct. So, okay. It is one of the three. Good. I should have gone with that first. I will, honestly, considering, like, I played the parts around 8 AM, like, last week, or the week before that even, and I can't fully remember, and I couldn't check. I'm quite happy I at least eliminated everything that was wrong. Or, like, not everything, but, like, everything that I eliminated was indeed wrong. You got it wrong 2 times. It counted, of course it did. Well, a trivial matter. It may have been easier to reach that conclusion had you considered the cause of death. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. What? So you really think Michio Shiraishi's alive? Just think it through and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but... Do you really think that girl could have managed all of this? First of all, Ario, go report this to HQ. Understood. I'll get on it right away. I'll start investigating this place. It sure isn't lacking in stuff that needs looking at. There's a bunch of photos of the same person pasted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa, no. Hold on. Those photos. Yep, they're Nejima. These are all Fumichika Nejima. Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more pasted up over here. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. Oh, I can't even scroll. With the window and storm shutter closed, no light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. This drawer is really old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would be allowed to touch things, right? Right. Ario isn't here, so let me take a look at it. It's just clothes in here. Not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. It's the same man in every picture. Is that Fumichika Nejima? Wow, this is quite the spectacle. I don't think I'll ever manage to erase this from my mind. Don't worry, Yoshida. You're quite the spectacle yourself. Do you mean to compare me with the likes of a bizarre criminal? Maybe. These aren't just cut from publications. They even snapped a number of shots of their own. They must have admired him. Why else would they have collected so many pictures? Whatever the case, it's certain they were obsessed. Look at these. Pictures of Fumichika Nejima cut out from newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shiraishis are somehow connected to Nejima's case? Perhaps they did this as to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might be involved in all this too. Do you think he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He announced that from sundown today he'll be going on a killing spree. Oh dear. There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's yet managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell you the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say. That's right. We talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in Sumida River that brought the incident to light. You don't say. You were the kid from back then. You were really brave. You did a great deed. Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea. So you two have met before. Fancy that. I've been worried that Fumichika Nejima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. You might be right. Unfortunately, that asshole is quite the resentful type. Oh dear. That asshole. I wonder if he put the idea into his head. And now he's got the one-sided read too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Honjo at sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite the threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. Bucko wants to get us all antsy. When I finally get to arresting him, it'll be with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Iwa and Fumichika Nejima have anything to do with each other, then this room might hold a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. The person who put all these photos up must have been obsessed with Nejima. They might have had some relation to Nejima's victims, or perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration? But then... Yep. The sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic runes. They're used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time they're useless imitations though. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my, who knew the Chief Inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd if you ask me. Of course the person in question was dead serious about it all. Western black magic. While magic is often classed as a branch of mysticism, or may variously refer to the likes of witchcraft or astrology, here it refers specifically to Western black magic. In the Middle Ages, the line between science and magic was blurred, with the pursuit of the supernatural considered a legitimate academic discipline. Astrology was regarded akin to astronomy, while alchemy was accepted as scientific fact and would eventually evolve into what is known today as chemistry. One discipline, however, was considered wicked and shunned accordingly: black magic. The practice of using magic knowledge to strike a bargain with demons. In contrast to the socially acceptable subjects studied by the intelligentsia, black magic was most prolific among the lower classes. It was the common people who suffered most from the ills of the day: war, famine, and sickness, which perhaps led them to seek aid from unholy powers. As heresy, these rituals and spells were nowhere to be found in orthodox modes of teaching, but instead were recorded in tomes of dubious credibility. It looks like the things spread around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual, or whatever, was something he attempted up to recently. Plenty of neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noises coming from here during the night. You'd think Iwai was the one chanting. Hard to say, could have been one of the Shiraishis as well. If we look through these books in the back, we might learn whatever it is we're trying to do, or they were trying to do. There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they're about. Many of them are written in a foreign language. It'll be a pain to look through all of these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. These books. No, it's the same. Same books. There's nothing around to confirm his identity, but by the looks of him, I'd say he's Kankichiro Iwai. You've seen him before. I heard he had a criminal record, so I assumed he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, it'd be better to not look so closely. It's amazing. Cruel is what it is. Oh, decorations. There are candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. Are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything you hear. Ah, that's right. Considering this a murder scene, we ought to leave everything as it is. All of this can be used as evidence. If anyone besides forensics toys with it, it'll cause trouble down the road. So now? What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look through if I wore gloves? Well, it's not like I'm any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. This seems to be a book on Western black magic. The same runes are written here, alongside detailed descriptions of the procedures. I suppose you'd call these grimoires? Oh, it's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though. You think this UI guy was studying them? Perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? There are a bunch of handwritten notes beside the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about this. UI doesn't look the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But why would he be studying black magic? According to the materials, this here rune is for the restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection, like the right? I guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the occult for similar reasons. What is it? This looks like a journal. It's probably EY's. Journal. His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. Oh, wow, now this is something. What is it? What did he write? This is quite defined. Let me give you a summary. So, this Kankichiro Iwai fellow, he'd been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So he was into black magic from the start? He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, he could then use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, it seems he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find out how he got his hands on this grimoire. It seems that Nejima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison. What? That's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not coincidence. It seems like Iwai took an interest in the Nejima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. You might even say he worshipped the man. Worship? Nejima of all people. This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. Iwai had been collecting these photos ever since that time. And since he just so happened to land in prison at the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, even having it all laid out like this. The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? To be honest, it's a shock to me too. For years we've been scratching our heads over the motives behind the Nejima murders. Yep, it's been a mystery to us all from the very start. Whoa now, wait just 1 minute, do you think... No way, are you saying... That's right, the murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offering match up exactly with the acts carried out by Nejima. You've got to be kidding me. So that sadistic crap he was doing was all for black magic? That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some type of resurrection ritual, but Iwai had different motives. Chief Inspector, you might think this is all the stuff of fantasy, but that doesn't refute that Nejima and Iwai were both acting in earnest. This is batshit insane. You're telling me that Nutjob did this all for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Shit, resurrection. That means there must have been someone Nejima wanted to bring back to life. Damn, that's it. That has to be it. Fucking hell, it all makes sense now. What? What is it? So about the Nejima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. When we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby. A baby? It was a girl, looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died. So was Nejima the father? He told us he'd found her under a bridge. He found her? She was abandoned? I've heard of parents threatening to leave their child under a bridge as a threat, but to think it really happens. I suppose there are those cases with the dead newborns found stuffed in coin lockers, so it's not without precedent. Whatever the case, we never found out the truth. But there's one rumor from back then that I could never get out of my mind. And it's starting to sound more likely now? Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe Nejima is guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing. Yeah, I remember all of that. Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed, was a girl who was pregnant. Goodness. It's horrific. He killed her and dismembered her body, and we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I for one never believed that man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge. I'm feeling sick. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider the possibility it was his child. And that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true. That's an interesting thought. If there's anyone Nejima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good a guess as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests he has an interest in the rite of resurrection. No, you're right. Hiro is thinking that he was only after the curse's power to massacre. Chief Inspector? Yeah. What happened to the child? Without a birth registration on file, best we could do was find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances secret for the child, at the sake of the child's future. Well, I'm glad she was taken care of. Please tell me we're not going to find out that she's also connected to someone who is in this. Don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in Iwai's journal. We know Iwai had managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to the advice he got from his idol Nejima while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, he determined he had a chance to get rich quick. Right. He thought he could make some money if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic. Correct. Turns out someone gave him the idea. And get this. It was the one and only queen and chairwoman of Hyaku Soaps herself, Natsuo Yamamori. Wait, the chairwoman of Hyaku Soaps. So that's where this leads. Here, let me read what he wrote. The queen of Hyaku has a strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. If she does die, she wishes to be revived, and she will spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites, she'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She was apparently investigating money into any research on resurrection, the restoration of youth and the like. So she would even throw her money at the occult. The places greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hideki Araishi. She presumably funded his research into the rite of resurrection as well. That's what it all points towards. I wouldn't be surprised if the Witch of Hyaku pounced the rumors of the rite of resurrection. It's starting to sound likely. It might also be why she's spreading the rumor about having godly powers. It's a convenient cover for if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's all that about? You can ignore that. Either way, I think Iwai took the payments he was getting for his research to seduce a family into taking him in to keep a low profile. Shiraishi family. Michio and her mother, Toshiko, were just his unlucky marks. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? This has something to do with me? Are you saying that... No, you can't mean... You realize then? Perhaps... Wait, no, I haven't realized. Wait. Natsuo Yamamori is the old woman. Toshiko Shiraishi is the mother. Michio Shiraishi is the daughter. Are you saying Michio? But why would she come into it? Kankichi Iwai from Shikanigimas. I'm going to go with that. Wait, no, go back. Fumichika Nejima's child was a child. Was the sacrifice? Was this... No, wait. That could make sense? Okay, what? Matt, please calm down. That wasn't it. Oh? Was I mistaken? Then what did you mean? Matt, please calm down. Iwai moved in with the Shiraishi to practice his magic. He needed a sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting the life force from someone young. Yes. So Michio was the sacrifice. It's just that she's not Nejima's child. Ah. So it was Iwai, this man. Iwai worshipped Nejima, so he must have also despised Nejima's detractors. Not to mention he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he had a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized he had the chance to both avenge Nejima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice at the same time? Fuck. You got it. Iwai kidnapped. Oh no, Michio wasn't the sacrifice. It was Haru Shigima, but Haru was not an option. Oh, it was... Wait, did she... Was one of the options Haru? I don't remember. And managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone. You're telling me then that horrid man never had the intention of returning my child? I thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money. His aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. He must have used Michiu to lower your boy's defenses and then kidnapped him on his way home. That man, he took Shuichi. Man, please calm down. I understand, but you must remember to breathe. You don't understand. You have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. This isn't a joke. I wouldn't expect the police to understand. They'll never understand. Living sacrifices. What a stupid idea from a stupid little man. Okay, ma'am. Let's just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we go get some fresh air? I can't believe this. This is... Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. But before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in his journal. Oh? Iwai got in contact with Nejima last year, after Nejima was released on parole. He provided him with accommodation and financial support. Is that so? He managed to find a hideout for Nejima to stay in. Damn it. If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shiraishis, it seems most went to Nejima instead. If Nejima's lurking around anywhere at the moment, it's probably in that hideout. Did he write where it is? Unfortunately, no, not that I can tell. But it seems Michiu knew where it was. She never met with Nejima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up among other things. What good is that information? The girl's already dead. Wait, no, she's alive. That's right, Michiu Shiraishi is alive. If you can find her and get her to talk, you can get her to spill the beans on his hideout too. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going. The lady's not well. Oh. Yeah, his deceased body was discovered at the Shiraishi home. Kankichiro once made a living by placing advertisements in magazines to sell phony magic items and good luck charms. He held a nostalgic yearning for the post-war era when things and people were simple, and has nothing but negative things to say about the rapidly developing ostentatious world of late. Radical in his belief that it would be better to tear down society and start over again, Kankichiro was discontent with his life spent poking around in society's cesspools to make a few coins. When the Nejima murders were widely reported in the media, it had a great impact on Kankichiro, as he witnessed how a single act by a single man could cause a major rift in society. Perceiving Fumichika Nejima as a great hero, he began collecting every piece of information he could find on the man. Kankichiro was later arrested for his illegal business practices, and a chance meeting with Fumichika during his incarceration solidified his idolization. He was captivated by Fumichika's talk of black magic, and following his release acquired the grimoire Fumichika had hidden away. As for Toshiko Shiraishi, Kankichiro set his sights on her after encountering her at her part-time job. When he learned that the Shiraishi family was in financial trouble and could not afford to send Michiu to college, he turned on the charm and took advantage of their weakness by offering them money. He revealed his true colors, however, after moving in with the family, and used violence and money to keep Toshiko and Michiu under his thumb. All the while his belief in black magic deepened, and he found a sponsor in the Hyaku Corporation. Kankichiro forced the Shiraishi family to perform various rituals, with any attempts to resist being met with merciless beatings. The mother and daughter were helpless to resist. After Hyaku offered Kankichiro great sums to intensify his work with black magic, he set his mind to sacrificing a child in order to perform a youth restoration spell. For this purpose, he chose Shuichi Shigima, the son of Harue Shigima, against whom Fumichika held a grudge. He attempted to enlist Michio so as not to alarm the boy, and when she resisted, beat her mother 20 times. With Michio's assistance, Kankishiro kidnapped Shuichi and locked him up in the Shiraishi house, and told the young and courageous boy that he'd kill Michio if he tried to run. While his actions were motivated by a personal grudge against the police, it was first and foremost an attempt to create a societal uproar and break down in public order. So Kankichiro painted the crime as a regular kidnapping, demanding a ransom from the family. However, because of an embargo on the press, the kidnapping did not cause a public outcry akin to that of the Nejima murders. Infuriated, Kankichiro had Toshiko perform the sacrifice ritual by threatening to kill Michio if she refused. Toshiko killed Shuichi in his sleep, but the spell failed, for which Kankichiro blamed her. Warning Michio to keep silent about the murder to avoid incriminating her mother, Kankichiro dumped the boy's body in a nearby river. The tiny corpse was found a week later in the Sumida River, after floating through several canals in Honjo. Having drifted for days in the polluted waters, little evidence remained. Although Kankichiro performed no further sacrifices, his devotion to black magic only increased. Toshiko and Michio spent their days consumed by guilt, forced to continue serving Kankichiro until the day they died. Are you feeling better now that we've gotten some fresh air, Mom? Fine. Suddenly finding out who the kidnapper was really made me lose my wits. We managed to solve the kidnapping case by pure luck here. You're right, but Richter, I feel grateful towards Michio. Because she killed the kidnapper? There's that too. But it's for something else. If Michio is the one killing all these people, then she must have acquired quite a sizable amount by now. Soul dregs, I mean. Hey, Richter. Whether the kidnapper's dead or alive, it doesn't mean a thing. Revenge won't bring my boy back. And if Nejima is planning to cause a massacre to collect soul dregs, then all the better. I won't give up on resurrection. So, I'm counting on you. Well, that was a lot. Too much to handle, some might say. Alright, but that was very, very interesting, and a lot of things now seem connected to each other. So, I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for doing so, and I will see you again next time. Till then, bye.